Hello, welcome back. This is ProTailDev. I hope everyone had a nice Christmas. It's been a little while since we've come back to this project. For you, hopefully not too bad. I did take a little bit break uploading, but now we're here and we're continuing with this project, which is Turtle Trial. So, where are we? I said last time that by the time we'd be back, I would probably have the project more or less finished, or at least mostly done, especially with the abilities and things, so I've made quite a lot of progress off screen, and now I'm going to go through some of the things. I'm probably going to split this into maybe 2 different videos of what I've done, because there is quite a lot. But let's get started. So the first thing I've actually going to show you is the UI. In this video, I suppose I might as well focus on the UI since I did spend a lot of time on it. And I'll go over everything else another time in the next video, should I say. So first things first. Objectives. So this objectives is now implemented, and these all work. I've added it, so I've made it so that it all is tracked properly. So if you collect a certain amount of seagrass, if you collect 50, it'll tick this off and it'll complete. And then if you get all of them, it will complete all the goals, and then the ending will be available to be completed. I'm probably going to work on that another time. I haven't done it yet, the ending, but I am getting close. Scrooge has been implemented. It just needs to be set up and accessed through the menu, which I haven't worked on the menu yet. I'm keeping that separate for now. I'll probably do that next. Oh, you can see a bunch of jellyfish. So yeah, as you can see, we got all the different resources, all the different fish and stuff that you can collect. And depending on the value or difficulty they are, based on how quick they are and how difficult it will be for the player to get, will determine how many you got to collect. It all works, and obviously you've got, if you unlock all the collectibles for all the abilities for the Explore, Home and Survival, it'll tick these off, and if you get all upgrades for all 3, it'll tick this off. Then we have Discover All Biomes, which I believe there's only 5. I don't really want to implement any more because I simply don't have the time. And then the last part is lore. So you got to find 10 pieces of lore, which will describe what's going on in this world, and then the goal will be completed. And I'm thinking the ending is going to be something along the lines of you have to go to the edge of the map somewhere where it's telling you, and basically go out to sea, and then that's the ending. So that's the objectives, which do work. I'm going to quickly just show you that they work. Okay, there was a bit of a cut in the video. My Unity crashed, but we're back. It's fine. So what we're gonna do is quickly gonna change. So as you can see, where were we? We were in the objectives, and we were looking at our different amounts and being able to track them. So I've got it in my objective script, my objectives manager. Handles all my bulls and such, and I've obviously got them all public so that I can see and I can change it and show you. So if we make this 49, nothing happens, but if we do make it 50, and this is us collecting it, there you go, we've got it, we've unlocked it, bull's been set. So it won't work unless, the way I've done it is to make sure a specific item, or if it goes over, when it's collected, it'll update. So if I go into this for 50, oh, that's for jellyfish. So I've made it, like I said, the exact amount, which I'll change. Honestly, it was just a little bit of an oversight. I'll probably change it so that if it ever goes over, which it shouldn't, but if it did, it'll still update. So 10 squid, and of course you get the point. Once you've done all of them, this will tick the same way. So I don't really feel like I need to show you that much more, but this is really just for the end game, for trying to get everything done. So the next thing I want to show you is the skills. So the skills, you may also notice as well that there is in fact sound from the ocean, and if I quickly show you swimming, oh, we got a bunch of fish. Ignore the circle that's appearing slowly around it, I'll explain that later, and the light. As you can see, as I'm going around, you can hear the splashing sounds. So I've added a couple of sounds and effects into the game. So I figured I'd show that as well. Alright, so now we're in skills, and oops. Let's quickly get a bunch of exchange points. Let's have a look. So now we can buy a couple of these, 286 points, and have in fact renamed them all and give each one a description. So this one's power, swim power. We got light as a feather, natural energy, and then empty stomach. All of these different skills, they do different effects, and they give based on the description. This is very much based on the player. The explore one was, unfortunately, I've run out of time. I don't want to work on abilities and stuff anymore. I kind of want to get this project over with. I want to be able to get it finished and move on to much more smaller but relevant projects. That'll be quite fun. So I've had to kind of get rid of the a couple of these abilities, but we do have the area awareness, and we do have, of course, all our home ones. So for example, safety is healing, tired of waiting, storage space. Some of them obvious. We have obviously self-improvement. So I'll go through these each one individually. Let's give ourselves a couple more points. Yeah, let's give ourselves, I don't know, 1,000 points. Okay. And let's buy each one and see what they do. So swim power, increase your strength in your flippers to give even more movement speed. So this is just going to increase our speed. Quickly show it. Yep, increased it a lot, allow you to get some of the more harder fish and to avoid certain enemies. Of course, we have light as a feather, again another speed increase. Increase your speed, so this is natural energy, and this is the last version of upgrading your speed. This one is increasing the capacity of your hunger bar, so empty stomach. It'll increase it so that you can have double the amount of food, or not double, but I think more like a quarter extra food in your bar to fill it, which is important for the storage, since you can't get more storage until much later down the line in this tree. So we also have warnings alarm, which alerts you for predators nearby. We have stun defense, which there's a high chance of stunning an enemy, though I've made it much lower now. There was a high chance, should I say. I've made it much more lower, simply because it was too powerful. And I've gotten rid of. There was actually an issue, if you remember. There was that push-in that that an enemy could do against the player, and they could just push you around. Now they don't do it as much. They can still push you around a little bit, but it's not as bad. And I've essentially made it so that the stun is only available when you buy the upgrade. And then you got hardened shell, which means that your armor will break slower. And as you can see, I have implemented the armor, and this is very similar. It works very similar to the way that it worked in Scrooge, except now I'm showing you how many armor you do have, and it's a little bit more obvious. It's a little bit more balanced because I tested it a bit more. I obviously used some of the feedback from that Scrooge into this game, so I've made some improvements. So if we do buy this, now we have hardened shell, it should break slower. Now we have explore, which again adds a minimap to our screen, which let me quickly show that. Yep, so we have a minimap, adds that to the screen, and you can see kind of these red dots. These are all enemies. And then you have, unfortunately these are not completed yet, but you do need them in order to get the objectives, which, as you can see, upgrade all objectives in the survival, it's working, and the explorer. So now if I quickly go back to skills again, and I'll fix this cursor issue. I'm testing it to work for consoles as well, so that's why the cursor keeps disappearing. And then you have this one, home comfort, which is reduce the speed of hunger drain while you're by half while you're on the home island. So this is the island you started on. This is, as you can tell, it's all about your home, all about the island you started on. So this one is complete with a pool, which adds an enclosure, as well as a bunch of food and a small chance every now and again to spawn more food. So you can get a bunch of it, and that's quite nice. Obviously you've hit max already, the amount you can have, but still, it's quite nice. And then you have here, safety is healing. So while you're on your island, it'll increase the speed of your healing and it will require less food. So that's quite convenient for us right now because that's what we need. Our food is draining rather quickly, so I might look back at that and see how I can maybe delay. I'll probably, again, this is more testing, but I might have a look at how long it takes for the hunger to drain. So the other thing is Tide of Waiting. So it adds a small island over here, which when you go to it and it's a specific time, it'll skip the night. I'm not sure if it's finished yet. No, it's not quite finished yet. But I will get it finished at some point. I am almost finished it. So this one is Personal Aquarium, which is an upgrade which increases the speed at which fish and other kind of food spawn in the enclosure. And then you have storage, storage space, which is obvious, increases it from 5 to 10. And it adds this little island over here, which are all the different items inside. I thought it was just it's more cosmetic, this island, but I still like it. I still think it's cool to have an improved, upgraded island. Then you have the very last one, which is self-improvement, and it adds a turtle statue, which I personally think this is quite cool. It'll add a free skill point every day at a certain time. So I believe I made it 12 AM. I think it's 12 AM. A new skill point will add, and there's a chance that it could be 2 or 3 skill points, but it will guarantee 1 skill point. There's the very last thing I want to show, which is the lore. So as you can see here, we've got all the different lores. So far there's only 10 here, but as you can see it says lore not found. It's greyed out and it says logs need to be found. So let's see if we can find one. Luckily I do know where one is. Getting a little bit of insight here. I believe it's the island just above us. Of course I'm not going to be able to find it. It has been a while. Here it is. So this is the first lore. You're looking at these statues. Once I get it, a lore will pop up. It'll tell you a little bit about the story, what's going on, and kind of how the world is, how it came to be. And it's not a crazy story. I just put it all together just as something to, enrich the experience a little bit. So as you find them, these will unlock, and you can always go back and have a look again, and choose different lore. So I'm gonna see if, let me just go over here and then grab, I believe there's one somewhere, yeah, down here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So this is the second lore. Just gonna grab this and move it up where the player is. There we go. And let's grab it. So once I grab this, the second one is available now, and it's showing off a little bit of a story going on. I believe the last two lore are very much history, and will tell you a bit in general, like summarize everything that's happened in these last few lore notes, these logs. But you can always choose different ones and then have a read of it later. Before we finish with this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just complete all the different objectives. We don't have a whole lot of time because I'm about to run out of hunger. Maybe I should quickly eat. Let's eat some of that. And let's do that. So, objectives. And let's complete all of them. $25 for the jelly. And very last objective you have to complete is the 50 seagrass. And as you can see, it completes all the goals in the game. You've discovered everything, and you've successfully managed to survive. And I'll make it so that there's a final objective that'll pop up that you need to complete. So in the next video, what we're going to be doing, let me pause that so you can't hear the waves anymore. Okay, so next time what we're going to be showing you is the day and night cycle that I created. You may have noticed it there that there was a little bit of a mask going on around the player and a light. That's because I have this screen tint currently turned off just while I was showing this video, but I'll let this play as I'm explaining. But next time what we're going to be showing is the night time. We're also going to show you this a few other bits and pieces that I've done, especially with the world itself rather than what we've spent in this video being the UI. So I'll see you next time.